Hi guys, and welcome to today's video where I'll be talking about all of my inverts I have in this house. And one of the things I'll be doing as well is combining my isopod colonies, and they'll be living in here, a much bigger box. So basically I have two different types. I have the giant isopods, the giant orange ones, and I have tropical grey woodlice. These sometimes come out orange. I don't know if this is some sort of gene, but basically you get a lot of grey ones and the odd one is going to be orange. So I'm taking it that orange is probably recessive and every now and again you're lucky to get an orange one. Maybe. I don't know about woodlice genetics. Anyway, whenever it's really hot like it is now, there is like a baby boom in with the woodlice. From where I'm sitting right now, I can literally see just all these specks and they're all baby woodlice. So what we're going to do today is combine them in here. Now they have their own dirt anyway, but we are going to make some stuff up. So first of all, what we're going to do is add in some loose eco earth. Now we don't need loads and loads of this, and eco earth in general doesn't support much in terms of inverts or plant life. It doesn't have the right balance to do that, but it does give them a lot more to dig in. What we will be adding to help with supporting them is earth mix. So Arcadia now have new packaging for earth mix and earth mix arid. They're very fancy. I'm very excited to use this. This stuff is the stuff that I use in my tanks, and if you've seen my custodians in both the Chihuahua tank and the crested gecko tank, they're crazy. They breed like crazy. This stuff supports them really, really well. So I'm going to be adding that in with the eco earth. And now I'm going to be adding in some live moss. Now this is from ProRep, and I've had this ever since I put together Drogo's tank. And with my substrates, they kind of live in my loft, and I just went in my loft and it's easily like 40 odd degrees, and that's in Celsius. And yet this moss is still soaking wet. Like, I don't know why this baffles me so much, but it's doing fantastic. And yeah, it just adds a bit of humidity, so I'll mix that in there. Now this might not look too deep, but you have to remember we're also adding in both of the substrates and everything that the two colonies come in, so it's going to be pretty full. Before I move them in, I'm making a smaller enclosure, and this is actually going to be for woodlice that I will sell. I actually hate selling these because, one, I just don't really like posting things through the post, and I don't really like getting rid of any of my pets, even though I guess, like, I consider them my pets. I know it's sad because they're woodlice, but still. And also because at my post office, right, last time I posted some woodlice, on every single side of the box it said keep up this way, live insects, and you're allowed to send them through Royal Mail. It's totally fine. And I was asked what was in them, and when I explained, they went, oh, that's so disgusting, and threw it behind them into the bag, not the right way up. I was so angry because to me these are like my pets, and I think it's pathetic that just because, like, woodlice, who is scared of woodlice, but like to act that way as like a professional in a post office, I was not happy. I thought it was really just silly. But for the sake of the woodlice, because we don't want them getting overly populated and they breed like crazy, I'm going to have to move some in here and sell them on because there's too many. So if you're in the UK, you may be the owners of these. I don't know, they may have already been sold by the time this video goes up. I'm not selling them right now though because it's so hot outside, and although these do like warmer temperatures, I just don't really like the thought of them travelling in it, so I will probably wait off till it cools down a bit. They've got some food in there, they've got some custodian fuel. I'm going to spray them down again, but there's tons of like adults and babies, and yeah, you're getting a good mix in there. I just hate selling them. It's I'm way too connected to like woodlice. It's so bad. This is why I could never breed my animals. I couldn't give them away. But yeah, so someone's gonna have these. Now to move everyone in, and talking about how overly sensitive I am about woodlice, I don't like to just tip them in because I feel like some babies might like get squished or something. But it's just insane how many's in here, and I don't know if you can even see like all the babies. I haven't lifted this coconut up in ages. I know they live in here. Oh my goodness. They're just everywhere. So we're going to gradually tip this in. So as you can see, it's getting really deep now. Now, I was debating whether to put in the giant isopods, and I thought, well, they live together in the tanks, that'll be fine, but actually seeing how many individuals I have in here and seeing how deep it's already getting, I do have a second box, so I might actually put them in a separate tank. This is the giant isopods, and having looked at them, it's because they hide a lot more, so it doesn't seem like there's as many as the others. So I'm not sure if it's too early to really move them into a bigger tank. Just for now. They're doing really well in here though. And I've seen a few babies in the actual geckos tanks. So I probably won't move them for now. But they are doing very well. My other inverts include obviously feeder insects. So we've got Morio worms in here and mealworms in the bottom. Now I'm doing something specifically with Morio worms at the moment, which will be a video of itself. So I'm very excited to show you that with you guys. And obviously the mealworms down here have already pupated, already become beetles. They're probably already laying eggs. There's actually a lollipop stick I put in here somewhere, which I hope they'd been laying eggs on. But it's very hard to see. It looks like they've been gnawing these, actually. One thing that came up from the live feeder insect video where I put them in here is some people had some concerns about the wood shavings. Now, I'd never even heard of these concerns. When I was looking up what's the best substrate for these, this kept coming up. I've looked into it more though, because people have mentioned it to me, and of course there's a car gone by, but of course my geckos mean everything to me, so I don't want to put them in danger. And also because I know I have a bit of an influence because I'm on YouTube and I don't want to put any of your geckos in danger. Now what I found was there was no hard evidence to support that these were definitely, like putting them on wood shavings was definitely dangerous. There were some concerns of the way that the wood shavings are made, and there's something to do with, there's some sort of oil that could be in it that when I looked it up looked like it was linked to marijuana. So are we getting our geckos high? I don't know. All I know is I don't really like taking that risk, even if it's like there's not concrete evidence for it, it's more of a hearsay. But at the same time, I'm going to make some changes to this. So I actually bought a colander to pop all of this in and let the mealworms go through. And what I want to do is put earth mix arid in here and maybe a few wood shavings, just a few at the top, because I've been using these for my crickets, and once a month I get new crickets in. They just don't tend to last longer than a month. Either they get eaten or they die off. And actually this month they've been doing really well. The crickets, I had quite a few left by the end of the month. They hardly, I don't even think they really smelt. It looked a little bit manky in there because obviously they'd been in there a month and they had food, and that sort of goes off a little bit, but there was no horrible smell. And I am continuing to use this with the crickets. I just feel like they don't chew it like these could potentially chew it. So I will be making changes in here. So it's the next day, and throughout the night I could just hear like mealworms or beetles dropping through. So some have gone through, but there's still a lot left in here. Now I'm probably going to have to go through and take each individual out at a time, so that's going to be really boring. But whilst we wait, I'm going to clean this out and fill it with earth mix arid. This is what I use with my leopard geckos. I've kept Morio worm beetles on it. It is everything that would support like inverts that are in arid environments and plants. Also, I did try eco earth with mealworms once before, and for some reason they did not do well. They just died. So I'm really hoping this works. It has been recommended to me, so yeah. So it's a few hours later. This is how the tank is looking. I'm going to call it a tank now. And I'm going to put in a few bits of cucumber, and I think I'm going to manually put in all the mealworms and beetles. This is going to take forever. So this is finally done. I actually decided to do two different setups. So we have one that's a breeding setup that has beetles and pupa in. I know sometimes beetles can eat through the pupa. I think that's mainly when they're low on food, so I like to keep make sure they have a lot of food. And in here we have the remaining mealworms. Now of course there are wood shavings in here. I just sort of threw hundreds of them, so you're bound to get a few and that won't be a problem. I know a lot of you did say in the last video you use wood shavings, you have no problem at all. And as I said, there's no concrete evidence that it is bad. Nevertheless, as I said, I don't want to take any risks. My geckos mean the world to me and I don't want to encourage anything that could potentially be bad. So we're going to try this. But yes, I hope you have enjoyed this video. The woodlice are over here. It's the next day. They're still doing really, really well. But thank you for watching, guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe. But thank you and goodbye.
Maybe I'm painting blue. What I'm